The definition of asylum requires that somebody be at the bridge seeking entry or already in the United States. So it's right within the definition that the manner of entry does not impact eligibility for asylum. And so for years, before the first Trump administration, people could come to the border and seek asylum and say, I'm afraid of returning to my country, and they could be put through a credible fear interview. But what Trump has done in the first administration was dismantle asylum at the border so that that was no longer possible. And now this latest move is an attempt to dismantle asylum, essentially overall. It would just completely eradicate the idea of asylum in this country, and it would impact probably over 1 million people.
So was asylum at the border a thing that was done away with? Obviously, it sounds like before the Biden administration, but did they adhere to that as well?
Yeah, so pretty much they did. So this was done during the first Trump administration, and he tried a few different things. A couple of his moves were struck down by the courts, and then there was the migrant protection protocols that sent people back to Mexico. And then when COVID hit, they closed the border under Title 42. So what happened during the Biden administration is that when the COVID pandemic lifted federally, they lifted Title 42 as it applied to minors, and that's when we saw a bunch of kids coming in alone, which was not a great policy either. Mm-hmm. And then the Biden administration really grapples with how to process asylum seekers in a legal and orderly way. And they came up with things like the CBP One app, where people could apply and wait for their turn. And hundreds of thousands of people did that. They applied for asylum legally, and they didn't come to the border until they had their appointment and their backgrounds had been checked. And those have been the folks who the Trump administration in this second round have gone after primarily, which has been really shocking, honestly, because these are all people who have fled persecution and have done things the right way. They entered with admission, they've gone to their court hearings, and these are the families that are being picked up and separated. This is the stuff that we're seeing on the news. And so this latest announcement just from yesterday is the Trump administration saying we're going after essentially everyone who is an asylum seeker in this country for deportation. I don't think that this will be allowed by the courts because it's in direct violation of the statute that Congress passed.